Good evening, everyone. This is Henry Gambell with simplertrading.com, and in tonight's video, I've got a bit of a variety of what I was wanting to share with you, and I'm starting with a product that's a little, may not be on everyone's radar, but I think you've got some interesting selling going on here in the soybean. I'm tracking it here through the futures. So part of what I'm looking at in this situation is that you are at 3 ATR, or you're measuring average true range from the mean. You can see that a lot of times as you start getting extended, you can just be due for the reversion to the mean. Now, the thing that's interesting about the current setup is that you see the wick that was provided off of this bar. So you rally up into that plus 3 ATR level, get a bit extended, and then settle back in for the close. And then today, your closing bar, you close below the low of the high bar, right? The 1667 was the high bar. Today you close below it. That may help facilitate the reversion to the mean trade. That means that basically soybeans are due for a move back into, let's call it 1540. And then I think depending, and especially if you can trail up that type of position, try to get it back down into these lows. Something like the nice round number of 1500 would be at least be a place to take profits. And this is one way that I'm looking to diversify from trading equities while the market tries to figure out what it wants to do exactly. It is not the clearest picture right now for the indexes. And with that in mind, as we head into the May monthly expiration, two other ideas that I'm going to share with you, one of which is in Facebook. And I like the idea. You could probably structure it, several different ways, but what I'm looking at here is basically shorting the $300 straddle. Now, if I sell the $300 straddle at today's closing prices, then the majority of that position, or the biggest chunk of the extrinsic value that I'm selling, is going to come from the $300 call. Now, of course, the $300 call has intrinsic value too, but what I'm trying to get across is that you're doing something that is theta positive, not totally delta neutral, right? It's going to give you a bit of a bearish bias, but would you agree that Facebook has been, maybe somewhat choppy around this big psychological value of 300? So as you head into a monthly expiration, which we've got coming up next Friday, I just feel the thought of it trading somewhere around 300 is not too far-fetched. So either be it the short straddle or possibly a bearish butterfly. I think we see Facebook back around 300 at some point next week. And then one that I'm a little bit not totally sure how I'm going to pursue this just yet, but it's a similar concept where, can target get back down here to 200? That is currently where you find the max pain values for next week's expiration. Those will tend to work better as you get closer to expiration. But when I tell you, not exactly sure which one of these I put on yet because I need to get a feel for how the market trades on Friday. But I think that it's a good spot to consider. You could do the iron condor, though usually I pursue them as short strangles. But, if we're trading at 210, we're a little under it. Let's just use that for this comparison. We're at 210. Okay, well then into next Friday, I don't think you make a new lifetime high. So that implies the sale of the $220 call. And then look at where your breakout was from. You have this old high, you have the consolidation, and then pop up above it. If you pull back to it, I would think that you find support. So selling the 220 call, selling the $200 put, and this is another spot where I'm looking at mostly being, in this case, delta neutral, while allotting myself a bit of leniency to modify and work with the idea, maybe add another short call at 210 if we decide to roll over and actually go to 200. So a little different than the approach that I've been bringing in these evening videos, but I feel like that's what the market is showing me and how I have to try to be flexible with it in the current environment. I hope you find that helpful, and we will see you at the next free video.
Without simpler trading, I could not have financial independence.
This is one of the best investments I ever made in my life.
It's helping me find consistency.
It's one of the things that won me